Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Europa Universalis 4 with me, Alpha Pi Omega, Meiou Taxes 3.0 and in Novgorod. So our forces have encountered more rebels. They rose up in Aldira and the second uprising of the Urinkai separatists is on its way. But on the other hand, Novgorod, strong. When you look here, I'm recruiting 4 new military units because our land force limit increased to 52. So we're gonna increase our army size to 55 and reinforce the fourth. Is it fourth or fourth Republican Army? Yes. So we're gonna. Yeah, they're gonna take this. There's no way I can stop them in time. But the separatism is already 25, so I don't think it can increase any further. The Unrest, however, as you can see, with these constant uprisings dropping, so at least that is... Oh shit, they did increase it! Well... That's unfortunate, but at least it's just one province. We can deal with one province. I mean, one province will never really raise. You would need more. The other uprising, which is Urinkai, will raise in Ket and Nationalism. So that's here. You can actually go here and you go to Ket. You can go to here, and actually you can go back to, say, Ishim, where we're gonna send all of these units to you. We're gonna meet them or group them in Zalesia, where we're recruiting the cannon unit, the flying battery, and they will go reinforce you. So that means we'll have 4 armies. We'll have the first, second, third, and fourth. While the fourth one will be about 2/3 of the strength of the other armies. I have decided that I don't want to split my armies more than we already did it. 14,000 men is actually a pretty decent amount. It's not too weak, it's not too strong, so I mean, that kind of looks good. Okay, you can still not... Yeah, will be too many. So we can't really convert any provinces right now, unfortunately. Okay, they are retreating to Kongorai. We'll be there on 28th of November and they will arrive on 31st of October. So let's detach a siege here and follow them, because we really need to take them down. We can't have them occupying more provinces. I'm going to... I think I have enough money now for the... Yeah, we have enough for the grand celebration. That's good. Just about that. Promote was a nobility and grants. It's not much I can do. But next time we take the what's it called? Next time we take the concession of ancient liberties. That's the one. We are going to revoke a privilege from the great nobles. We need to do that. That's something that we really need to do. Not do that. And I could reduce service exemptions for the burghers. Okay. Which actually happened without me doing anything. Okay, let's see their privileges. Wait, can I see the privileges? Your rights and reform. No, these are reforms. Can I see it there? Urban governance. Privilege. Yeah, I think that's service exemption. Notable exemption from burger service obligation. Okay, so they had this. Oh, okay. I think I see it. 93,000. Or maybe that's the original number. I don't know. Well, we just revoked their privilege anyway, so that's good in its own merit. So you're going to attack them in Kongorai. Oh, I forgot to stop you. Oh, holy hell, and now they might raise against us. Ah! It's actually a huge bummer. 2nd of December. Okay, if they raise here, we might encounter them. This is bad timing on my side. But it's quite realistic, you know. Nobody knows what's going on here, really. Okay, can you explain to me why you are not there already? Are they going to take another province over? How is that possible? Oh, god damn it! Freaking hell. This is just ridiculous. We didn't give them that much time. Okay, the separatism here is just going to be bigger. Okay, so all of these need to be fortified then. That sucks. That sucks real badly. And how are we doing on bureaucracy? Okay, stability is dropping due to the fact that we have such high overextension. But we're in many provinces way past half in our coring, so at least that's good. Well, it's August 1674, and we can take a new technology called school teachers. So let's do that. School teachers. With the growth of literacy came a movement to provide education for all. In 1643, so about 40 years ago, the Scottish Parliament provided funding for a school teacher to be attached to each parish in order for the poor to receive a free education. Although it was limited at best, it was the beginning of public education, and many countries would follow suit over the following decades. So that lowers our yearly corruption by 0.2. That's awesome. Corruption is actually dropping. The colony in Yuk is growing nicely. We get Kurelka here next. And another thing that's kind of important is that the province here that I praised Kanatskaya Oblast for was actually made by me. So I retracted the colonist from here, as our colony Enyak, which is here, or Ayak, which is almost finished, will be surpassed or switched to the Naina. So we'll still have 4 colonies. That's kind of interesting to see. I sent another what's it called, expedition to Hudson Bay. I'm expecting it to die again on the seas. For some reason, we're not having any luck with the Hudson Bay. Maybe there's a high what would it be called, high difficulty level for that to succeed. I'm not entirely sure. In another news, we actually started converting Dasht Kipchak, because even with the missionary there, we get 0.8 progress. So this province can actually now be converted. So that's nice. That is really nice. That leaves only Catholic island here, and then all of these provinces. I also checked off cam that Crimea, Kazakh Horde, we have casus belli to attack both of them, and for Sarbadar we'll need to get one. So I'm actually building a spy network there to claim Mahambet, because as I mentioned, I want Mahambet, MB, and this to be ours. Just as it is right now. Kazakh is no longer a problem. For some reason, though, the Uryankai separatists haven't still risen up against us. It's fairly weird. But the Oirat separatists are organizing again. So we just have constant unrest here. I had to again take down the Barkut separatists because they're just threatening to take me down completely. It's ridiculous. Until we core these provinces, it's just gonna be a nightmare to handle. But thank God, when you check here, most of the core constructions are well past half. Somewhere we are past 3/4, like in Tawanet Omok. So I'm hoping that that will improve the situation at least somewhat. Also, an interesting mechanic. Nice, okay. An interesting mechanic overview is the fact that the port that we built in... Wait, was it Yugra? I don't think so. I think it was... Yeah, Pechora. We built 2 levels and 1 level of the hard bridge has been dismantled. So, yeah, they cannot really hold it, even with the hard bridge. I'm not sure if they will be able to hold the capital building in Chardin, but they have decent population and some income. So hopefully that might happen. There's how many residents? That's the wage. Here. We got almost 4,000 residents there. Try to fight off the expedition, and yeah, we lost another expedition. Damn it. So anyway, this is the 4th Republican Army, 12,000 now. 3rd Republican, 1st Republican, and 2nd Republican. I think the next uprising that's gonna come now is actually going to be the Oirats, which will be down here, won't it? Soyoni Nuru, Tanu, okay, Kobdo, Arkangai, and Kulunda and Tenet. What the hell is Kulunda? Kulunda. Wasn't I searching for that one before as well? Oh, it's here. Okay, so I think you guys can go to Kulunda. You guys can go to Tanu. You guys can go to Sawoni. And you guys can go to Arkangai. I think that was one of them too, right? Arkangai? Yes. And Kulunda and Tawanet are not very likely to raise up. So we'll see if we can, you know, hold this without... Well, we actually don't have much of a choice. I mean, they're gonna raise no matter what we do, so we'll just position the armies and hope that we are ready for them. Well, this time we weren't lucky at all. Both of them raised in a province which was least likely or had the lowest unrest. I don't know how actually the unrest mechanic and where they raise is calculated, but they just raised in the weirdest place. Though, good to note that they did not increase the separatism, so at least that's something. So let's just remove them from here and just be done with it. You can stay here, you can stay here as well, you can stay here as well. And all of our armies are in the east. If someone attacked us right now, that would be awful. We just have to drown him in our own blood. And oh, I can send my second. Okay, so you can go to Viduma. Okay, do it. Yeah, the conversion is working well. Okay, Vilex and Venden are still too far, right? Vanden has minus. Not far. Okay, so this will disappear soon. How far are we with you? Okay, 11.2, and it's taking some traction. And you are retreating to Kulunda. If I send you there, 21st of September, and they will arrive. No, they will arrive 21st of September. Okay, detached siege and a forced march. Okay. That way we will take them out. Okay, so such is the fate of Novgorod. Constant uprising. But look, it's getting better. It's beautiful. It's no longer so red. Apart from these, but we don't speak about those guys. They're not welcome here. Nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. I think I could support the Kurunji. Yeah. And the clans I did support. So we have no privileges of the clergy, and their power is actually not very high. So it would be possible to leverage them. Nobles, on the other hand, have many privileges. And Ayak has become self-sustaining. Isn't that just great? It is. Look at that. And did we get the new province already? Yeah, we did. Okay, so we paid for a few, maybe for a couple of months for this one, so that's good. 2 more provinces will be done very soon. Atna in a year and a bit. So I think it might be... Oh, okay. And hey, you are here. Good for you. I actually have a surprise for you guys. I recruited or got 3 ships together because the limit actually allows it now. And we're gonna discover these provinces now. We might just, try to get these as well, coastal provinces. But first we're gonna see if we can do an actual exploration here. This would be what? This would be the North Atlantic coast. So let's see if he can... No, god damn it, that's not the North Atlantic, that's the North Pacific. Ah! I screwed it up. Well, I'll be damned. We can now embrace another institution, this time the Nationalism. So, okay, it's gonna cost 1072 gold, and it gives us morale of armies plus 2.5%, manpower recovery speed plus 5%, monthly war exhaustion lowered by 0.01, and technology cost lowered by 100%, but we get extra liberty desire and years of separatism. But we can take new technologies everywhere. So instead of the new technology in culture, in diplomacy, I'm going to take the culture idea called patronage of the arts. Being a patron is not simply a matter of charity or even of self-aggrandizement. There is a certain expectation that a leader will provide for the greater minds of the time, so they may express themselves without needing to waste time on unartistic endeavors such as begging. Euro Republic tradition increased by 0.2, so we're getting 0.71 every year, which is great. And we can invest in rationalism. In the 17th century, the fields of mathematics and philosophy blended together to produce rationalism. In words such as Descartes' Meditation, 1641, philosophers espoused the idea that people had an innately rational nature with common knowledge that could be brought to fore. In this way, they encouraged the use of reason alone to reveal the eternal truths of the universe. In the words of the car, cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. Production efficiency increased by +1. Royal absolutism. In 1643, the young King Louis XIV came to the throne of France. Armed with the advice of his counselors, he began to concentrate power in himself and found ways to increase royal power at the expense of the aristocracy. By 1655, King Louis was able to utter his famous words, "L'État est moi." In 1651, Thomas Hobbes published The Leviathan, a book which suggested that civil war and violence could only be avoided by giving up power to an absolute monarch such as Louis. Soon rulers across Europe were following his example, so stability cost interval is lowered, extra centralization and maximum resources size. And military. Regular pay. Levied armies and mercenaries both had their limitations. Increasingly, rulers turned to permanent forces, but these troops demanded regular pay, something difficult for most rulers to accomplish. Reforms of the military administration to ensure a constant supply of pay for the troops helped to reduce desertion among these regulars. So cavalry flanking damage increased by 5%, military tactics increased by 0.25%, land morale increased by 0.30%, and infantry shot increased by 0.25%. And we can get the swivel cannons. Wow! Okay. These technologies are cheap. Swivel cannons allowed artillery to react more quickly on the battlefield, making them much more useful. So military tactics get another bonus 0.25, artillery fire increased by 0.5, and we can get leather guns and starfort. And line infantry. Cheaper, deadlier guns meant that trained musketeers could often keep enemies at bay. This reduced the need for hand-to-hand soldiers to protect them, allowing modern armies to increase the proportions of muskets to pikes in their armies to 1-to-1 ratio. As this happened, new line tactics were developed to take advantage of the new offensive capabilities of the army. Soldiers trained to fire simultaneously against the same target, sending a deadly volley of lead at the enemy. So siege ability increased by 5%, another boost to military tactics of 0.25, combat wolf increased by 3, infantry fire increased by 0.25, and we can get platoon fire musketeers and musketeer regulars. So let's see what we can get here. So what we had, the Slavic Western Infantry. Wow, we actually can get way better units. So Slavic Western Infantry had emphasized fire and they were same in defense and attack. Now we have to decide, and I think we're gonna take the platoon fire musketeers. Bayonets were introduced in the mid-17th century and were gradually refined and made more reliable. Throughout the 17th century, tactics remained the same. Musketeers advanced slowly on the enemy, pausing to fire volleys at them in an attempt to break the enemy line, allowing cavalry to pursue and mop up the scattered enemy. When this failed, a bayonet charge and a hand-to-hand combat was necessary. This tactic gradually made pikemen superfluous on the battlefield, and where there had been 3 pikemen to every musketeer by the beginning of the century, there were 5 musketeers to every pikeman by its end. Scottish Highlanders were known for being willing to charge the enemy just as much as to shoot them. Okay, let's get those. Can we get... no, it's the leather guns. Okay, they provide 1 extra defensive shock. As more nations began to see the advantage of mobile artillery, they looked into ways to increase the mobility. One change was to attach dragoons to the artillery so that the infantry could defend the guns while the horses pulled the cannons. Another change was to cast guns out of light copper instead of heavy iron, binding the cannon in leather. This reduced the crew needed to 2 and allowed for very mobile cannons, but the copper cannons grew so overheated that they were unusable after only a few shots, and the weapon was largely abandoned after a few years. Well, still pretty good. Damn, we made advances. So yeah, welcome back to the green. We got 45, 45, 46. Turks got 48, 48, 48, but this is very good compared to our neighbors. We're gonna decimate them. Yeah, Crimea has absolutely no way of fighting against us. Same with Sarbadar, Kazakh. We're gonna steamroll these. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I just wanted to mention at the end that we now have a claim on Sarbadar, so we can attack them again, which is going to be awesome. Much, much better than what we had before. So they're somewhere here, and we are somewhere here. So our units are just so much better. But they decimated us with the camera, so we need to be careful about that when we take Sarbadar by its neck again. But hey, you know, next time we'll have to deal with the uprising here. I'm sending my armies there to somehow get it under control, and many of these provinces will be finally cored. We are also going to have new colonies, won't we? Yeah. Atna will be done, so I send a colonist to Natikwa. So this province is now part, or will be colonized for Kanatskaya Oblast, and Statkona will be done. At which point we are going to go after Asawinigan. We can't actually reach the Hudson Bay, which is kind of interesting, but hey. Oh god, what is this? Portugal has a province here. Yeah, they colonized Japan. Oh, those bastards. Well, you know what? I think we are gonna have our first colonial war very soon. As these provinces belong to us.